On a Thursday night, and you are tuned into Beltway Radio and Beyond, which can mean one and only thing, that this is Chip Chat. Kind of. Well, it's Chip Chat, but it's also football. Football started again. Hi, I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
You just told him.
All right, you were waiting for me to do the thing.
I was just sitting there. I was giving you some
waiting to see if I was going to get it right.
I was just waiting. I was like, let's see if we
were off for a couple of weeks.
We were.
So I might have been a little rusty.
It's okay.
And we were off doing Labor Day things. The studio was closed for Labor Day.
The weekend for the proletariat.
Yeah. Celebrated by letting all the salaried people stay home from work so they can go to mattress sales, where the working people have to work selling the mattresses.
Or day parties.
You know, whatever. How was your Labor Day?
It was good.
Did you rest?
Yeah, I played a lot of golf.
Right. You know.
As
celebrating the proletariat by playing golf.
Exactly. No, it was
the most resource intense.
Every time I'm out there, I'm like,
yeah,
these shouldn't be here.
This should not exist.
It shouldn't be here. No, look, it's complicated. I don't look whenever we go down the morality road.
No, I know.
It's hard to because then it's just
don't start peeling the onion.
Yeah, it's socialism for everybody else. I'm here with y'all though. I'm fighting a good fight too.
I believe that is in fact the argument that Fox News makes about why socialism doesn't work.
Right, exactly.
People eventually look out for their own self-interests and no longer
I'm on the inside
ideals.
Fighting for everyone. Okay,
yeah,
look,
right,
look,
doing your best,
doing my best, trying.
Good.
To stay on the mission and path.
Yeah. So the studio imposed a vacation on us.
Woo.
So whoever owns this place.
Hey, thank you.
F that guy.
Hey.
All right. So
there's a lot going on.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We do have a guest this week, but which version of him we get throughout the show might shift around. I never really know which character or person or persona, I guess, is showing up on a given time.
Well,
but Drew Kidd is back with us.
He's always Drew Kidd.
Yeah, he's always that, but he's also sometimes other things.
This is true.
So
it's still Drew Kidd.
Yeah. It's like Clark Kent is always there underneath Superman, but or maybe Superman is always there. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, so that's, now you're peeling that onion again. You start to get in trouble.
Start thinking. Yeah.
Okay, but also, this is a very Tez-heavy show.
Yeah,
I don't know if you read it or
you. Look,
I wrote a whole show about you. I don't know if you read it or not.
I did. Look, I know what we have to talk about here. I know my cousin we have to talk about. I've been making jokes about that all weekend because, even before it, I was like, anyways, we'll just wait till we get there.
We're gonna talk about your cousin.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
Everything's on fire.
Climate change is happening in real time now.
Again, 2 years ago,
people
I was trying to
been
get y'all
telling
to
everybody.
Dead-ass birds. Dead-ass birds. I tried to make it a little jovial, with funny and happy you can be about dead-ass birds. I don't know.
But
no one's listening.
And also,
no one's still not listening.
Drew Kidd is your guest, by the way. He's your friend.
This is true.
I'm the one that booked him.
Again, I do very minimal work around this part, man.
That's okay.
It's just look. That's the running joke, but it's not a joke.
It's not a joke. It's true. Texas is having a little bit of trouble. Notably, Greg Abbott, standing up for the border, got beat in court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
You know how?
Oh, God.
Steps. The courthouse steps. That's a metaphor. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right.
So imagine he ever has to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, how's he going to get in?
They
have a ramp.
They're ADA compliant.
They are ADA compliant.
The show, not so much.
Or they could get like a billionaire to build them a ramp just in time.
Ah, yes.
You know.
That's true.
Not to get too crow about it.
Well, look. Now he's just owning it.
Yeah.
He's just like,
him and Alito are out there like,
here it is.
Look at what I got from my billionaire this weekend. They're walking into work with their new, like, check this out. Look, hey, Kagan, look at my fancy new suit. And she's like, yeah, it's all right, you know. It's like, I know a guy, but I don't want to take it. You know, all right, anyway.
What a great system we have here.
Yeah, the unelected 9.
Unelected 9. And
then, of course, you know, feminism is an important topic, so what better way to discuss it than have 3 dudes talk about it?
This is when I
Drew, kid, you got roped into that. I don't know if you meant to.
I get tired to sit these ones out because we always have these conversations.
But we don't. You had that
one time. No, the one time you invited a bunch of women on this show to talk about curling, you played the craziest video you ever could have, and now.
To be fair, Brian played it. That was Brian.
After I watched that video, and I was like, "Wait, you played that with?" Oh, okay.
With serious
women here talking serious business.
Talking actual feminism, yes.
Yeah,
and we played that video. Don't worry, she's going to be in this show, too.
Awesome.
Yeah. I hope if Brian got the video.
Oh,
we'll see. Yeah, he's got it. Brian loves that video.
That video is insane.
He's going to play it, I bet.
Look, I mean,
we have actual music to play from our guests, so we might not get to watch Brian play crazy stuff to make you squirm.
Yeah,
but that is a really excellent part of this show.
I do the show and consume the show sometimes at the same day.
Yeah, right. You don't know. I mean, if you read ahead, you might know, but since you didn't,
sometimes I don't think I read the Florida and so I can play along to that.
Good. That'll be
an
interesting one. Yeah. So we have a lot going on. It's a packed show. So, you know, we should do the thing.
Yeah, I guess we'll do the thing.
All right. So, do you have a word?
Yeah, it's inappropriate, but I'm
okay. I've got a word. So sit back, grab some
gropers.
It's cheeseburger time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's poppin', yeah?
All right, so we said that we're going to do feminism on this show. This segment is for the ladies.
Hey.
It starts...
I'm glad that it's like the safe thing we
That's the sound, yeah.
That's a good...
Never know what other sounds Brian
I don't know, because that could
have
have really went a different way as well.
Yeah.
There's other sounds in it I hope that would not be played.
That's true. All right, this one is called The Rain in Spain Falls Mainly on the Lips. As many people know, this show, we love sports. We're a sports-oriented group, right? And so the World Cup, the Women's World Cup just finished, and Spain won. It was a really good win. And the Spanish team overcame an awful lot.
Yes, I was going to say.
They were in full revolt against their coach. They basically wouldn't talk to him the entire time. They won an entire World Cup without listening to their coach, which either means he did such a good job early on that they didn't have to take any guidance from him, or they're such good players that they didn't need any help from him.
I'll go with the latter.
More the latter there.
On that one.
And so that's kind of like the background of this, right? But the thing that really happened was, well, the thing that really happened is that they won the World Cup. But the thing that happened immediately afterwards was presentation of the trophies, and everybody's all excited and getting their medals and all that stuff. Now, normally this is a very celebratory moment, and it was.
Yeah. Yeah, some people celebrate a little too much.
A little too much. So enter one Luis Rubiales, who he is the president of the Spanish Soccer Federation, and he was a little too excited about the win. What did he do?
He was doing a lot of kissing and groping.
Yeah. So here, if you can see on the video, you can see. Now look, let's just lay this out there. They're Europeans, continental Europeans. Yeah. So they do a lot of this side face kissing and all that.
This was more. This was a little more than side cases.
I just want to be clear. Yeah. We're not culturally shaming like the continentals for all the kissiness.
Look, the Iberians get down different.
Yeah, and the French and the Italians, like, forgive our very Anglo sensibilities as it comes, from England as you are, but also from like America. We're just like, it's maybe not so much with the PBA. We're just not shake hands like a normal person, please.
Yeah, right. I mean, for the most part,
it's very Puritan sort of difference.
We could go down our list of.
Our people are just as gropey too, but exactly. Like we are not culturally okay with this much.
Correct, but I don't think that is what happened
face-to-face
here.
Cuddle. I know that is not what happened here. I just want to be clear. That, we are not jumping on this because we saw face-to-face cuddle.
If that happened, I don't think we'd be having this discussion.
Exactly.
At all.
But what did happen was Mr. Rubiales took some liberties with the kissins and planted one right on the star of the team, on Miss Hermoso, on Jenny Hermoso, who did not want to be kissed on the mouth at all.
No, and accompanied this with his crotch grabs.
And then she took the kiss and left, and then he grabbed his crotch and was like he won. He didn't play.
He did not play.
He didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, he presided over a team in full revolt of anything he did.
Yes.
They won basically in spite of him.
Yeah.
And in spite of his coach.
Who
they wouldn't talk to for the whole ceremony. And he was in Sydney. So maybe it was he meant to grab his head, but he grabbed his crotch because they're upside down. That's how it works down there.
Gosh, yes.
The toilet swirls the wrong way and all that stuff. All right, so anyway.
Not shaming anybody else.
Not shaming.
All right.
Crocky. No, never.
There it is.
Right. So then everybody was like, oh, that's not good. You shouldn't have done that. And
hey, apologize.
Apologize.
It wasn't even, people didn't even ask for anything.
No, they didn't ask him to step down or anything. They just said, apologize. We understand you might have been a little too excited. Just say, you didn't mean to do it. And he could not do that.
No. Didn't he have a speech?
He had a speech.
It was I remember getting clips of the speech, and he was just, he basically said that she wanted it.
He said that it was invited. He said that he would never apologize for this.
Never. Yeah.
He said that several times. Yeah. I'm never going to apologize. Never going to apologize. Never. He's doing it all in Spanish, so it sounds ridiculous. And well, I could understand it, but I was like, "Come on, man, what's wrong with you? Your accent's weird." So he was like, "I'm never going to apologize. This was fine. Everybody else is crazy. I'm a victim of the woke mob."
His mother went into a church on a hunger strike.
Yeah.
His mother, I am not making this up. His mother was so offended that everybody was, I guess he says, a lynching, which I'd love to throw that around. That he said that due to this lynching, it caused his mother to lock away in a church on a hunger strike
until the world stopped abusing her baby boy.
Meanwhile, during the speech, the same coach was there applauding.
So the coach applauded. The coach that all the players hate applauded.
Yeah.
And then people caught that video and they're like, yo, and even he had enough sense to go, all right, I shouldn't have applauded that. But then they went back to Luis Rubiales and they were like, so everybody's pretty sure this is not good. We're going to give you another chance. Do you want to get out of this? And he goes, no, I don't. As a matter of fact, I do it again. And everybody's like, all right, what are we going to do here? And so, the paragon of morality and ethics, FIFA.
Yes.
The paragon of morality and ethics, FIFA,
Doesn't he? Sometimes we need to have these sounds. That's a sound we should have on deck always. Where it's like, some days I feel black and some days I feel Asian, and so do you remember?
Yes. Was that Sepp Blatter who said?
Yes.
My God.
I feel like a woman, and I feel like that speech was crazy.
FIFA has their own fake country inside Bolivia with their own airport where they can do whatever they want. FIFA is the most. They make the IOC look like the most clean organization. They make Putin look above board. That's how corrupt FIFA is.
I mean, that airport has to be on like the Epstein flight.
Oh yeah.
He's how many times he landed in that air? It's a lot of times.
You're not going to be able to count because nobody's going to tell you.
Yeah.
So FIFA, of all things, steps in and goes, "You, Luis Rubiales, are suspended."
Right.
They put the pressure on the Spanish Federation to suspend him.
Right. Exactly.
And kicked him out of UEFA, kicked him out of Spanish football, but only for 2 years. And then he could theoretically come back or something.
I mean, this guy is also too. I mean, in Spain, it's a little lawless around this type of stuff with women.
Yeah,
like didn't they write it into like their laws that they can't like. They had to write into the law like, hey, women are not second-class citizens.
They literally did write that into their constitution, but only in 2020.
Exactly what I'm saying. This place is not that.
The machismo thing is real. But, yeah, I was listening to that same NPR story.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Where it's like, we and
it was insane.
Let's just put it this way. If Americans are lecturing you on how to not treat people like second-class citizens, you done fucked up. Like, I don't know how else to put that.
The Me Too movement never made it over there.
It happened 4 or 5 years late.
Yes.
And it took, like, the Queen to get involved and be like, hey, now.
Everywhere else is kind of coming to a reckoning. And, we're still out here.
They didn't go on a hunger strike, I guess.
Well, that. Look, now we're hurting. Now we're hurting grandma or mama.
Abuela.
Wow, that's
yes. Thank you.
Spanish.
But Spain's men coach, Luis de la Fuente, like they're all named Luis apparently, was applauding. He said, "I made a human error."
Yeah, of course.
Human error.
That's what it is.
Wait, that's how normal people talk.
There's only a subset of humans that make this error.
Yeah, well, Jenny Hermoso is about to sue the pants off this guy. Oh, no, sorry, not the pants. He already grabbed and ripped those. Sue the wallet out of his pants.
Are they on strike?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
They're playing under their own thing. They were refusing to play for Spain.
Right.
Before the World Cup. And then they decided that they would play like as an independent, but then they came to an agreement where like, if the coach doesn't tell us what to do, fine, we'll wear the jerseys.
Let one of these clubs stand up on this. Let someone let El Clasico get knocked. People don't go out on the field or some shit. I guarantee you some more shit to change.
Well,
that's
you'd have to go
a lot.
Even further for something like that. But imagine if it turned out that one of these coaches or one of these authorities or whatever was doing something like this to, say, the sister of or daughter of a star Spanish player or player who plays in La Liga, and that person exposed it. I'm 100% sure that's happened, and it just has been swept under. But the door's been cracked open, by a crotch grab and an unsolicited kiss. Jesus Christ, dude!
Cup.
Like
in
front
Cup
of
final,
the entire world.
That's when you know that's like to showcase power at a different level.
This wasn't
what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, they didn't win some third tier league championship where nobody but the people who subscribe to that YouTube channel saw this happen. This happened on live television in front of the largest audience that women's soccer has ever had.
Yeah.
And he did it anyway. Like, he doesn't even care. You know who doesn't care?
Let's keep moving on.
Alabama.
Let's keep moving on. Sorry.
Now look, Alabama's got a lot
Men
of things
strike
to make.
again.
Alabama has a lot of things to make fun of. Most recently, one of their senators, heavy air quotes on senators, Coach Tommy Tuberville, decided that poetry made the Navy gay. Until everybody was like, Senator, the Navy was already gay. It's the Navy. The submarine thing, 100 men go down, 50 couples, blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Tommy Tuberville?
Oh, God, he is a senator.
He told everybody that he was not weakening the national defense.
Insane.
Which I pointed out is exactly what he did to Auburn's defense. So
he was 1 for 1 there. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's way to go, Bama. Okay, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
No.
Down in Alabama, that thing about Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
It was obliterated.
Yep.
By neighbor Clarence.
Yes, neighbor Clarence.
And Salmon Alito.
Salmon Alito.
That's my new name for him.
Okay.
It's Samuel Alito. Salmon Alito.
That's really good. Actually.
I like that.
I like that too.
Just thought that up.
That's really good. Actually,
came to me. Much like a salmon on a reel. Okay, so the unelected 9 obliterates Roe v. Wade, and they go, it's up to the states to regulate abortion. And so some of the states, notably Alabama in this case, were like, oh,
we had this law all ready to go.
We
Here
ready
it is.
To go. And they're not just like, we're not just going to ban abortions, but we're going to ban women. No, just abortions. Don't say it out loud. And so everybody's like, all right. Fortunately, there are roads in and out of Alabama. People can leave. And so people basically, if they needed an abortion, were like, all right, well, we'll just leave and go get an abortion. Which is still not easy, but it's at least better than nothing.
Yes.
And various groups sprung up with the intention to facilitate this, because while states might be backward-ass Neanderthals, there are other people who want to help.
Yeah.
Some of
humanity is still there.
Some of us give money to these organizations to help these, like, abortion refugees find their way to sensible places, like currently Virginia, but maybe not for long.
Not for long.
So the Alabama Attorney General, whose name is Steve Marshall, straight out of Central Casting. Find me the blandest white guy name you could possibly imagine. Steve Marshall. Look at him.
Oh, God, he is a marshal.
Steve Marshall looks like if somebody called up and said, find me somebody who blends in, not at a Waffle House, but like as an extra at a Denny's commercial.
I mean, he definitely could play Urban Meyer in the biopic.
Oh, for sure. Or simply man number 3.
Man number 3.
Yeah. So Steve Marshall, the state attorney general, was like, he was on a radio show.
That's always
first mistake.
We can tell you something about that.
Yeah. He's on a radio show. and he goes on to this like insane thing where he explains that he's going to prosecute people for helping other people leave the state to get abortions, which is not legal and seems to violate the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Do you see the quote there?
Yeah. Quote, if someone was promoting themselves out as a funder of abortions out of state, then that is potentially criminally actionable for us, Marshall said. One of the things we will do in working with local prosecutors is making sure that we fully implement this law. There's nothing about that law that restricts any individual for driving across the state lines and seeking an abortion in another place. However, I would say that if an individual held themselves out as an entity or a group that is using funds that they are able to raise to facilitate those visits, then that's something we're going to look at closely. End quote. That doesn't make any sense.
None of that makes
sense.
That's
like a word salad.
You're perfectly fine to leave, but if somebody helps you, that person's in trouble.
Yeah.
What?
Obviously, I think a lot of these things are just to rally the base, because in a court of law, this is going to fail every time.
Well, here's a further quote. Though abortion may be legal elsewhere, it's plainly illegal pursuant to Alabama code, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know they had numbers in Alabama. It is illegal for plaintiffs to conspire with others to procure abortions that would be illegal in Alabama.
Is that in the law?
Well,
that's what he says.
If that's what's in the code, but even if it is, so if you think it up yourself, that's fine. But if somebody else goes, hey, you want a ride? That's a crime. That doesn't make any sense.
There's no standing on this in any court. There's
nowhere. And the First Amendment very clearly allows people to advocate for whatever they want. As long as it's not directly harmful, trying to overthrow the fucking government, you idiots. So, like, these same people who stand on this First Amendment bullshit about, like, well, we should be allowed to conspire to overthrow the government.
Those refugees in the DC
in the DC gulag with the gazpacho police. Those guys are like, what? Where's our First Amendment right to rave about crazy shit?
And do it.
And then these same people turn around and, well, you can't help people. Imagine, like, what the flip side is like, hey, man, I'm going to lunch. Do you want anything? That's conspiring to get lunch. If I am going to lunch, and I said, I am also going to lunch, fine.
We're good.
But if I say, I'm going to lunch, would you like to come with me? Conspiracy.
Yeah, the dog obviously caught its tail with this shit.
Yeah,
and now they don't know what the fuck
they don't know what they're doing.
It's just evident every time any of these stories is.
So there's this silver lining to this, though, is that this could help Democrats win in Alabama. Like, Alabama is going through this existential crisis now. They've redrawn their districts twice and got beat by the Roberts Court. You believe that shit?
I didn't.
The Roberts Court was like, yo, those districts are racist. What? Not to mention that they opened the door for that, but sure.
Yeah. Shelby's went too far.
Yeah, I think we might have overstepped here, fellas. We should have put that pre-clearance back in.
Yeah.
The pre-clearance. Pre-clearance.
Yeah.
Things are great.
I was talking to somebody over the weekend. I was like, he replaced Thurgood Marshall. That's how to fuck you to everything that goes on. Like, the South shall rise again. And on some different shit, though.
And they're gonna get a black man to carry him there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like they did the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the backs of black men. All right.
Crazy.
Gross. So there's that, right? So now Bama's trying to draw. They redrew the same district
again,
and they're like, "No, idiot! You have to have 2 black districts."
You're not getting around that.
Why do you not understand that?
It's going to come down to violence, obviously.
Probably.
Right? If I'm looking, how many more times are they going to draw it?
Why do they need so many districts? They're only a quarter of the population.
Right, exactly. well,
what if we thin them out a little?
I'm just saying,
Tommy Tuberville thought about that. He's dealt with a lot of minorities. As he
he has dealt with a lot of them.
Directly a quote.
That is a direct quote.
So there's that, and then there's also this thing where they're targeting women who in suburbs, so much as there are suburbs of cities in Alabama, which, I mean, nominally there are.
Yeah.
Montgomery's a real city. Birmingham's a real city.
It's a real city.
This is going to hurt. And it could... Doug Jones did win there.
He did.
Now, granted, it was against the worst candidate possible.
Oh, my God, yeah. We don't want to talk about that guy.
But if you have enough things stacking up...
Grab.
Yeah. Underage grab.
Yeah, even worse.
If you have enough things stacking up, it might mean that the Democrats can win. So are we, maybe a little excited about this self-inflicted wound?
I mean...
It's anti-woman.
Yeah.
On its face.
Because this is when the politics play into, the actual lives that are affected by these laws, because if you've heard these abortion stories, and they're heartbreaking.
They're awful.
They are
worst. People are choosing literally between life and death for no good reason.
Yeah. And it's the stories that they highlight are not the ones that are getting pushed on Fox News, and it's it's all these salacious women using it as birth control. And when you hear these stories, it's oh, no, I've had 2 kids. There's actually, I want this kid, but I've now had a medical emergency. And the doctor is well, I don't want to go to jail.
I can't help you, and so you have to basically bleed out.
It's sick.
And on Fox News, of course, the story is that Democrats are trying to encourage abortions at 36 weeks or something like that. Which is literally not happening. Again, when I was talking about the right wing getting upset about things that are not happening, this was before we went on air. That is not happening.
Yeah.
It is not happening anywhere in this country, and they are so utterly convinced about it that they are marching through our city every year with their stupid buses bringing kids to March for Life. They didn't bring food, by the way. They could bring food and help, feed people. That's part of your life. But, no, they're not doing that. What they're doing is reacting to a thing that isn't happening, in the meantime causing real things that are death-defying or, in some cases, death themselves to happen.
Yeah. I mean...
So we play politics like it's a sport. I mean,
right.
You and I talk about this stuff like, wins and losses and how do we triangulate and all this stuff. And it's easy to lose sight of the humanity, except for the fact that we don't lose.
Right. It's because there are people at the end.
There are people involved. And just like Spain is just grappling with the idea that women are people.
Yeah.
Alabama is fast tracking the idea that women are not people and should not be entitled to make decisions about their own lives, up to and including calling a friend to discuss what is going on. Conspiracy to commit ice cream. Would you like to come with me to get ice cream? Conspiracy to commit coffee. Hey, I'm going to Starbucks. Would you like anything? What are we talking about?
It's silly. I mean, but they think this is a way. I mean, they've used this for what? 40 years to win elections.
Because they didn't want to have to actually win.
Exactly.
They just wanted to have the issue.
Yeah.
Now they got to confront it. Sucks for you. Maybe you should have got on the right side of history. Fucking Republicans.
And it sucks for a whole lot of women.
Yeah. We, on the other hand, cisgender hetero white guys, my case, cisgender hetero black guys, in your case, we're sitting pretty. It's fine. Doesn't matter to us. Time for football.
Woo! You know what? But men are losing, as they like to say. Well, that's the funniest shit I've heard.
Yeah, I know, right? It's illegal to be a man now.
Yeah, I was like, what? Wait, I still walk through alleys.
The soy
alleys
is causing
in the middle. Yeah.
to turn into feminines.
That's what it is, the soy.
That's one of the things. Fox News believes that the estrogen in soy milk is causing men to become soft, squishy liberals.
You know me, flaming liberal.
Do you? Yes. But no, to your point, do you ever fear walking around?
Yeah, I don't know when men started losing. I didn't see when the score changed.
I walk around without ever paying attention to what's around me. It's like no reason to worry about this.
Yeah, I'll walk through an
Someone's
alley.
going to jump out and high-five me?
Yo.
Hooray! The patriarchy!
It's insane.
We're winning! All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have a special rundown, which is going to be, it's got a tiny list time in it, so it's like a double segment. It's going to be really cool. Brian loves double segments.
T-Rex edition.
Yeah. That's foreshadowing. Pay attention. You got to know what the T stands for. All right, we're going to take a break.
A fucking nerd.
You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
DJ, I live here in Piscataway Land, Washington, D.C., but I'm originally from Caloocan City, Manila, Philippines. Although I've lived in D.C. longer than in the Philippines, okay lang, gutom. It means I'm hungry, and I'm so excited to introduce to you my friend, Drew Kidd. I'm just going to read his bio real quick, okay? Drew Kidd, sometimes known as French Toast Jefferson, is a dedicated musician, multidisciplinary artist,
Thank you. I'm gonna do my best to project my voice because I don't want the feedback from the mic to hurt anybody's ears. Because my main purpose here is for therapy. you know, not to be like daunting about it. I just really take to the sentiment that after all that we've endured in the past several years, as a planet, we are in need of great healing. It strikes me to say that out loud because it's something that I think wasn't really like addressed when we could take masks off and when we could like commune again. And it strikes me so strongly, and I try not to, you know, kind of be on like a little soapbox about it. It's just that I'm in a place where I don't take anything for granted anymore after all.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I am your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
That music and intro that you just heard is from our guest who has joined us now at the table. Drew Kid, say hi to everybody.
Bang.
There
What's
you go. Look, we've said it before. Everybody needs a Brian.
Everybody.
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Is the best.
Yeah, this shit would not go on.
No. I tried to do this show for a whole year almost in my shed with Larry, producing it ourselves.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
Yeah, no.
We did it, but it was terrible. Yeah. I mean, the content was good, but the sound quality and all that was awful. Anyway, okay. Now we've come to the part of the show called The Rundown. This is where I tell you about some stuff that's going on in the news. If we were professionals, it would sound like this.
Stay off the weed.
From Beltway Radio and Beyond in Washington, D.C., I'm J. Scott Smith, and this is the part of the hour where I tell you some stuff that's going on in the news.
Shout out to Jay, by the way. It's his
I love
birthday
when it
this week.
doesn't work. It's always better.
Because if we were professionals.
Yes, it's just so much better when it never works. May it never work. The one time when it was silent, that is
so
funny
good.
as shit. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry.
Shout out J. Scott Smith. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, J. Scott Smith.
He turned 29.
Of course.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Look.
We don't reveal numbers here.
Yeah.
All right, so this is
unless it's video views of videos that you star in.
Yeah, well then, also shout out to ADST, his new video out, Hello. It's at 13K last I checked on the views. I am not in that video, which would explain its slow rise to stardom.
Got it, of course.
But many of our friends, RBI, Priest, they're all in that video, so like shout out to them. Okay, this special rundown edition is a special Tyrant edition with a tiny little list time.
All right, yeah. You need, because I know what's happening here in Texas with good buddy Paxton here, but
yeah,
there's a lot happening in this story now that I guess impeachment has commenced.
It started. So let's start this off. This is impeachment and cream, as in cash rules everything around me. Cream, yeah.
Marketplace dropped that today after they did a story on.
They played the
cream cheese,
right,
and they played the instrumental right after.
We're going to talk about that a little later.
Okay.
But in any case, all right, so here's the deal. Ken Paxton is the suspended Attorney General of Texas,
yes,
which is sometimes a state, sometimes a country, sometimes rebelling against
I was going to say full of rebels with guns.
It's all Six Flags over Texas. So he basically committed a lot of fraud and bribery, and he had an extramarital affair, and he got this guy with a lot of money to like help cover it up, and in exchange let him control the Attorney General's office, as you do. And he got reelected a bunch of times, but then as it turns out, he was like, look, I did a bunch of corrupt shit. I need some money. Can I have some money? And the State House in Austin was like, whoa. Go back and what do you need the money for? And he's like, well, I lost this lawsuit where all of my aides and clerks resigned en masse and sued me for everything I did, including harassment, retaliation, and all the bribery. Can I have $3.3 million? And they were like, no. And he's like, well, here's the thing. I already spent your $3.3 million, so you're going to have to like come up with it one way or the other, or you can't balance your budget. And the State House, which is overwhelmingly Republican,
I was going to say. Yeah,
like 80% Republican, was like, all right, that's it.
We've had enough.
Gone too far.
Filed in papers.
Impeachment.
Yeah.
So they impeached him. And we knew all that, and we'd covered that several times on the show. And that's why it's the cream edition, the cash rules, everything. It's $3.3 million. Okay, we're all good on that.
We're there. We're caught up.
Yes. Also complicating the matter is that his wife
is there. I forgot.
Angela is a state senator.
All in the family.
She has recused herself from this trial.
Oh.
She did the right thing and got out of the way.
It's more than others recused themselves in the higher offices.
She has been attending, though, and saluting people in the balcony.
Cheerleader.
Yeah. Well, it's Texas. You have to have cheerleaders. All right. So here's the beginning of this. The historic impeachment trial of suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton is underway. He faces 16 articles of impeachment that accuse him of bribery, dereliction of duty, and disregard for official office. He has faced criminal investigations, legal battles, and accusation of wrongdoing for years. Still, Texas voters have twice reelected him. Shocking. Most recently, in November, Paxton has long positioned himself as one of the country's strongest conservative attorneys general. In more than 2 terms as the state's top lawyer, he has relentlessly sued the federal government over issues from immigration to health care and the environment, blah, blah, blah. So they started proceedings, they opened this up, and it immediately gets gummed up by his lawyers, like, trying to, claim that this is fake and politically motivated. And it's like, first of all impeachment is political. That's what it's for. But second of all, like, you did the thing. He's not arguing that he didn't do the stuff. He's just saying that he should have been allowed to do the stuff. But then the argument got a little weird, right? He goes, the real reason I'm being impeached, says Ken Paxton, is that I'm an ardent Trump supporter, and all of these Republicans in Texas, heavy eye roll, are after me for being a Trump supporter? Tough road to hoe.
Yeah, the first witness that came up.
The very first witness, House lawyer Rusty Hardin. By the way, Great name.
Rusty Harden.
Rusty Harden.
Good,
you know
good.
what his side gig is.
Good name.
Brian, where's the porn music? Nothing? His name is Rusty Harden.
That's terrible.
Come on.
Bottom bin dollar.
He spent a considerable amount of time
Dollar bin bottom.
working to
That
establish.
was too grimy for porn music right there.
Hello?
That sounded like Buckshot was about to start rhyming and shit.
I've never thought about
This
that.
dick.
No, simpler.
All right, so the first
home run was hit.
Oh yeah?
Oh, wow. Okay. Whoa. Well, okay. Get moving on.
Okay.
Oh, God. Uh-oh.
Okay, the first witness was a guy named Jeff Mattier. We'll just stick to the script.
Stick to the script. Okay.
Plow ahead.
Plow ahead.
And Rusty Harden, the lawyer, spent a considerable amount of time trying to figure out if this guy was like a rhino, right?
Not an animal.
Wait.
Republican in name only.
Okay,
Rhino.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
So that's the first question. He goes, "Are you a rhino?" And he goes, "No." Mattier replied that he was, quote, certainly far from right of center, and noted that former President Trump had nominated him to the federal bench. His nomination failed in advance in the Senate after a report that he said that transgender children are part of, quote, Satan's plan. You know, one of those liberals.
Yeah. See, it sounds like it sounds like a flaming liberal to me.
Yeah, so then Harden
Christ.
also got Mattier to attest to the character of the other whistleblowers who Paxton has since vilified. Quote, they were all committed to the rule of law and conservative governance. So then his testimony got cut short as the two sides broke out into a dispute over exhibits. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, notably who said kill all the old people to get us out of COVID,
Yeah, he did.
ended the trial for the day. Prior to that, Mattier was starting to elaborate on the discomfort as he watched Paxton make unusual moves on behalf of real estate investor and political donor Nate Paul. Basically, this argument that somehow these are
fake Republicans.
out to get him
in Texas again
is so on its face bullshit, but it doesn't matter because in the Fox Newsosphere, this is just how everything works. If you're not pulling the sled in the same direction, it must be because you're out to get me or you're out to get Trump. And I, as Ken Paxton, am also somehow tied to Trump in this
He's an
weird way.
extension of Trump. He is that.
Well, they're going to end up spending some time together in federal prison. The SEC don't play.
No. Paxton, yes. Donald Trump will be on house arrest.
House arrest.
No way in hell.
Regardless, still.
Can't do that to the fine men and women of the Secret Service.
There are many good people on both sides.
Many good people.
Fine people
Many
on both
fine
sides.
people on both sides.
Okay, so switching gears. We said this is a tyrant edition,
Yes.
right? So we had Ken
T-Rex
Paxton,
edition.
noted tyrant. You should explain the T-Rex so people don't know what the T stands for.
He's the Tyrant King.
Tyrannosaurus, yeah.
Tyrannosaurus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody got that.
I would hope so, man. No, dinosaurs.
90s kids that watch Jurassic Park, speaking as one of them, that know the Latin meaning and all that. Yeah.
I mean,
bang.
probably the people who've been alive in the last 100 years or so, because T-Rex has been around that long.
You should.
I mean, he's been
Fair.
around before that, but
Yeah,
like,
he's been around.
we discovered him that long ago.
T-Rex been around 100 years, and man has been around
before
6,000
like
years.
critical evolution theory becomes a
Critical
abolishment.
evolution theory. Oh God, you've given some.
Don't speak
It's
it
hard,
into
to,
existence.
bro. It's hard to like not get this all through a filter and then like put something out that it could be like a dangerous idea. You know what I mean?
look.
Like it's a lot of stuff that goes through our mind. And
dinosaurs.
I just want to say like salute to y'all. Like shout out to y'all for like trying to untangle like the truth with all this like every week. Because speaking as somebody who has like Native American blood, like for real, it's like. The to try to simplify like the childhood tale of Goldilocks,
Oh,
know,
God, yeah.
right? It's
How
like
I tell that
somebody
story?
just rolled up in your spot and threw a party, and then now it's like the worst party, and it goes on for like
Ever.
hundreds of years, and it's like you can't escape it, and it's TV, and then there's like a whole arena dedicated to untangling.
We're watching the Kansas City Chiefs beat a giant drum and doing the chop in a stadium called Arrowhead.
Bang.
But somehow the Washington football team was the one that had to change
Oh, don't
their
do
name.
this. Oh, don't do this anyways.
Just
Run it all. Run it all.
It
Run
can
it
all
all.
be wrong. It is all wrong.
It is all wrong.
Anyway,
there's 70%
Like
of the sport
it's just dizzying, you know? Like it's like we have to just keep like like you said, it's an arena. It's like sports. It's like
we have to continuously as
an arena built on top of like somebody's home.
Yeah.
Original home.
Everything that we three of us and Brian included, let's say, we'll say he's not white for this purpose of the segment. Like everything that all of us have our entire lives have to endure as oppressed groups is basically like eating shit relentlessly. It doesn't ever stop. You just have to like look at it and figure out ways to laugh at it. I'm in several Facebook groups about like, are the Goyim okay?
Jesus Christ.
And the answer is no, they're not. They're losing their minds over what was the original Hebrew of this. And I'm like, well, we could tell you, and like, it's a dead language. It's not a dead language. You all can read it and speak it. You want to know? It's a mystery to us.
And you speak up once, and it's like just vehement,
like,
response.
Who
like,
are you to tell me what the?
Like,
I believe this for 25 years, and you're like 25 years. Been around for 10,000.
Not to go down a tangent here, but yeah, this book I'm reading here, Braiding Sweetgrass, is by an indigenous woman, and she was breaking down something about like the stories we tell, right, and like the stories of the indigenous people of this land here, and things like I know, like called this place Turtle Island, right, and that they have stories that how they see this place that they've always lived, and they were talking about like the story of like Adam and Eve, and they were like, well, from our sense, like Eve, obviously, y'all doing this shit a lot wrong. Like, they trying to give food. You're looking at the food like something's wrong with the food.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. Why would you not want to take the food that is being provided? So, again, there's a lot of stories that are out there, and the Anglo-Saxon version of these stories doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Cats are masters of pivot, of the sidestep, of the move the goalpost. Like, to use all my my sports language.
Your entire sports lingo all in one sentence.
I mean, I played basketball.
No, I was gonna say exactly. You said more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the topic at hand, though, which is about more tyrants.
The little tyrant.
Yeah. Imagine, if you will, a scenario in which anybody, calls up North Korea and goes, "Hey, I need a little help." And they go, "I think you've got what we need. Can you help us?" And now think in your mind of like, who in the world is worse off than North Korea and is like, "I think you could help us"?
It's only one of two places, and I know it's not Iran. So
it's not. Well, then,
but I
they're
guess
not
doing
the thing together, because it turns out all the Iranian drones that have been used, it seems awfully similar to North Korean drones that have been used.
So then it's our good buddy. I thought we weren't talking about this.
We decided
I sent a text message and I was like,
we need to stop making fun of Putin.
That man out the window in D.C., a little too close to home for me.
And then we were worried that Brian was KGB, and his response...
Yeah, you were worried about that.
His response was a gif of the dude stirring a White Russian. So that...
It was that. It was that, I guess.
And I was like, all right. So we are very clear. We are not making fun of Vladi right now. We are, however, making fun of Mr. Kim.
Yes.
The man who poops in a bucket. So the Russians called up their good buddies, the North Koreans.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's 1952
We're
again.
back. We're back.
And they're like, you know what we need? We need ammo. And it turns out that the North Koreans are really good at building conventional ammo. It's not smart ammo. It's not like it can detonate at particular altitudes or whatever, but it's ammo.
It can fire.
And the Russians are out of it.
Yes.
and they use the same caliber and style of weaponry because it's all this
the
Soviet stuff.
50 years ago.
Yeah, so they're like, can we have some shells? And the North Koreans are like, well, as it turns out, we could definitely hook you up if you could give us some of that rocket technology and missiles and stuff. Now, the North Koreans have shot more than 80 missiles this year. So it's not like they're far from this, but they're nowhere near where they want to be. And so they're like, yeah, we're going to make a deal. Now, if you had on your bingo card that in 2023, the Russians were going to give the North Koreans advanced nuclear submarine technology in exchange for what are essentially bottle rockets because they ran out trying to fight a war with Ukraine, that's an insane sentence. You would not have predicted that 3 years ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that Vladimir Putin would be this foolish.
It looks pretty
I thought
bad.
he was smarter than this. As you see, I'm putting more
respect on his name.
Thought this guy was a little smarter than this guy.
It's like, what can you believe anymore?
It's so insane. And then here's the thing. It turns out there's going to be a trip.
Yes.
They're going on a road trip, a railroad trip.
That's the only way that man can travel.
Kim could fly, but they don't have enough gas for the airplanes. So, and there is a border between North Korea and Russia,
there is
technically.
That.
It's like
I don't know.
The whole thing is like,
what city is across that border? I have no clue.
I don't know. And
what
it's a very small sliver.
Yeah.
Right there. But it does exist.
Yes.
According to Google Maps when I looked.
Yeah.
And so he's going to take his armored train across Russia.
1950s, man.
Which you know is a very small country.
Right.
Even in a fast train, this takes several months.
I was going to say, Japanese bullet train
Yeah.
takes 2 months to cross Russia.
So get this. Stay with me now. He's going to ride the Orient Express
Jesus Christ.
all the way across Russia
Christ.
to Moscow to go talk to Vladimir Putin about exchanging advanced nuclear technology, submarine technology, and all kinds of other shit in
Some
exchange
shells.
for bullets. Now, before we get to
They
the
ain't got
list
Walmart?
here, no. Remember all the companies
I
all
know,
pulled
yeah.
out of Russia. They literally have nothing. They're so desperate that they're calling the North Koreans. What is
Don't
that
you
even
refurbish bullets? Can't you reload them? Come
you
on.
can
man.
repack shells.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's provided you have the machines operating to do that, or you have the brass, or you have the gunpowder. They don't have any of the necessary materials because of all the embargoes and
Russia
stuff.
fell off, man.
Yeah, or they never were. Beware the military-industrial complex. It might lie to you about a bomber gap and then cause you to build 1 million extra B-52s.
it's almost like the Tyrannosaurus Rex is like the perfect visual metaphor for this, like the strongest, but
little hands.
it's like baby man. Everything is like baby man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah?
all
that's it.
tyrants are just like baby man.
That is it.
Like playing like Monopoly plus like Risk with
Yes.
actual resources and people's lives and yeah, man.
They want to be God, but their hands ain't.
They can't hold
You know,
a basketball.
Yeah.
like speaking of tyrants, I mean, I've been recently more educated, talking about politics, folks fighting for the Philippine Human Rights Act, speaking also as a Filipino, like pretty much the American government, gives resources to the Philippine government, and
Regardless
they
of who's in charge
turn
of
and
it.
use those resources to kill Filipino people, which has happened from the last presidency on to now, and like.
What are you mad about? There's a
It's-
Marcos back. Everything's fine. You'll all have shoes.
Yeah, the whole every rundown is like the meme where it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's just
Yeah.
a lot of exhaling. You know what I mean?
It's not
like
good.
It's not good
it's
at all.
woo.
It is not good. That's
Every-
why we do this show.
I know.
To process it.
ChipChat versus the world.
We're trying.
Bang bang. You know what I'm saying?
Trying not to get thrown out a window.
So speaking of which,
Yeah.
on this train, we have a small list of things that will not be served or that will be served, in the
Yeah.
dining car.
Right.
on this train.
I'll take the first one.
You can have the first one.
So deep, man.
First thing on the list is nothing near a window.
That's correct.
I would say specifically by the caboose too.
Nothing will be served near a window.
Yeah, you know what? You know what served at windows?
Yeah. Defenestration. Yeah. All right, number 2, ice cream baklava mashup.
ICBM.
Yes,
that's good.
That's true.
Funny. That's
our crack reporting team came up with this here.
They're working again.
Yeah.
Number 3, Jet Puff Prigozhin marshmallows.
Yes.
Damn, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Damn,
R.I.P.
Hey, look.
Which P did you mean there?
I don't know. Look,
this is what's prohibited, or this is what's
no. This is what will be served. Is jet puffed, Prigozhin.
Yeah, because it's plain.
Well, marshmallows, they're jet puffed. That's the brand.
True. Yeah, it is.
That's what's always great. Like the diet of said baby men, like Trump feeding McDonald's to people at at championship teams at the White House.
That's how they live long.
It's just
weird. I don't know.
Yeah, the industrial chemicals of McDonald's.
I don't know what's happening.
It's some
kills everybody else but these evil people.
I tell people all the time that I attribute my good health to basically 12 years of school lunch.
Jesus Christ!
It built.
You got uranium. You're the Incredible Hulk.
My daddy gave me a thermos.
I had that see-through steak and cheese, man, and whatever the hell that was made of. I'm
chicken tenders and fries. Cuz
I am tolerant.
God,
I can survive anything.
Moving on, number 4.
Yeah,
the chaotic diets of tyrants. That's a book
that
in
is
itself.
Definitely a book.
That's hilarious.
That'll be on Fresh Air. I'm not going to read that one, though. I have to have somebody else read it and then tell me about it.
Of course not.
All right, number 4, the starvation-flavored Skittles. That's, of course, what Kim Jong-un loves. It's starvation.
Yeah. Not for his people, not him, though.
Yeah.
He's obviously not starving.
Flavored Skittles.
He's not starving.
No, that's how he got gout.
I was going to say, what is it?
The rich man's disease?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Number 5, Papa John's Pizza.
Of course.
Right.
It's a choice of despot dictators all around the world.
That's true. They do like them, some Papa John's.
They love the Papa John's.
And of course, the Manning brothers.
Yeah, right. Well, and of course, number 6, sunflower seeds dipped in poison. Sunflowers being the symbol of Ukraine. There you go.
There it is.
That's great. That was our tiny list time inside of the Tyrant edition of Rundown. That's a lot of words. Moving on.
Cats is running off fumes.
Let's move on to our good friend Kenneth Cheesebro.
Cheesebro. Now, I've
decided that Cheesebro is a great way to address somebody.
Yeah.
What's up, Cheesebro? So
and there you go.
Is this how you spell it?
That's his name.
Oh, that's the name.
There you go.
Yes. Yes, it's so. As I was editing the show, right, it wanted to know, did I want to change Cheesebro to Cheesebro?
Wow. So
Google was like, I think that's Cheesebro. And I was like,
that's what, see, machine learning, at it again.
So we now have our very own, I don't know if anybody can see.
The Cheesebro.
This is Mr. Cheesebro.
Kenneth Cheesebro.
Kenneth Cheesebro. Thank you. Thank you, Drew Kid, for... I brought
aligning
that for him the challenge was for him to create a character.
But we collaborated, bang. There
and
you
that
go.
was it.
Kenneth Cheesebro.
You do more work on the show than I do.
Kenneth Cheesebro.
I just showed up a little early. You know
a lot early.
No diss. That's just that's bigging up my defeating of Filipino time. You know what I mean?
Look here.
I hedged. I told
no
him
sneak diss. No sneak diss.
For me,
both of us got here.
I'm glad you got here. I'm glad you're here.
I always show up 1 minute before. If not
coming in hot,
and that one,
That's
that
what
one
you
time I
texted
showed
me.
up before you.
Yeah, that happened once. I was shocked.
I was just sitting here.
I was shocked. I was like, "What? How did you get here? Have you been here since last week?"
Exactly.
All right, on to Mr. Cheesebro. As you'll note here. Okay, so basically, here's what you got to know. Fonnie Willis down in Fulton County, Georgia, has indicted Donald Trump and 63 other people in committing all of the crimes.
Yeah.
And 2 of them have said, no, we don't want to wait till March for our trial. We want a trial now. And Fonnie Willis was like, bet, let's do
Got
that.
it.
And then they were like, well, we want that trial, but not with that other one that wants it fast. And the two people who want it fast are Ken Cheesebro and
Sidney Powell, right?
Sidney Powell.
Yeah.
And so both of them were like, we want to sever from the rest of these idiots. And the judge
Now you want to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
The judge was like, all right, let me hear the arguments. And they're like, look, we don't know any of these people. We've never met these people. Don't pay attention to all these videos of us standing next to them in press conferences and shaking hands and filing briefs together. We've never met them. And the judge is like, all right, I'm kind of open to that idea. And initially, Fonnie Willis's office was like, oh, they wanted speedy trial? Look, we're not willing to sever it, but we are willing to put everybody on trial in October. And the judge is like, that's not enough time for 53 people to, so it was 63 people to get their defense together in time. So it's like, all right, he's probably right about that.
No,
that's
true.
fair. Okay. But on the other hand, he was like, what about you two? And they're like, well, look, we don't want to be part of the other 61. We want to be our own deal. And the judge is like, I'm listening. And then they go, I've never met her. And she goes, I've never met him. And the judge
When
was
did you
like,
meet up to discuss this?
when did you meet up to discuss this?
Exactly. It's like, what?
And they're like, yesterday. What are you talking about? So after
insane.
listening to them make absolutely no sense for several hours, the judge ruled that they will, in fact, go to trial together on the 23rd. Quote, based on what's been presented today, I'm not finding the severance for Mr. Cheesebro or Powell is necessary to achieve a fair determination of the guilt or innocence of either defendant in this case.
I love how when just, even if you're just like slightly paying attention, you just hear things like, are you a rhino? Like, cheese bro. Like, just all these like, and you wonder how
You gotta
characters
keep up,
just come
man.
out. It's just, but it's great because it's like, I kind of latch on to it. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or,
Look,
yeah, but.
I'm saying, look, I mean, again, all this shit would be hilarious if it wasn't dealing with real people.
Or the fate of democracy.
Yeah, that too.
Because if this thing doesn't work and they don't get punished for trying to undo democracy, all of the democracies, not just America, are in serious jeopardy.
Yeah.
Because nobody will have to
I would
respect
argue
rule of law anymore.
we're past that point, man.
Yeah, but
like,
that's a whole nother country. We're pretending we're different. Remember?
Exactly. American exceptionalism. What's
ooh.
You know,
right? What is going on here, everybody?
Yeah.
We're a young country.
I just
as
keep
somebody
hearing like
likes to
Jim
say.
Kelly from the Bruce Lee. You're straight out of a comic book, man. But like, it's just.
I'm not here to like.
And then that character
remind
dies.
You of all of the awfulness, like it's just there.
It's fair. No, it's just like, it. I think we just like teeter on this like balancing act of like, you gotta be aware, but it's just so like gut wrenching and like what
Try
the fuck.
not to look too hard.
This shit is a house of cards, y'all.
Everything.
This shit is about to fall down.
Ooh.
It already felt.
I mean,
it was very close.
It's Twilight Zone shit.
To
It's
all-
just like, phew.
I was sitting a mile away from dummies sitting in the middle of the.
You know,
Right,
like
but-
I think about like it was like a Young Guru interview where he just like stopped the whole. He was like, "No, we don't play them games," and they're like, "What? What?" He's like, "American politics," you know.
Yeah,
And
but it's the game that you can't avoid.
Well, if you live here,
if you're here, yeah, if you know,
Yeah,
oof.
and even if you don't,
or if you're in another country that's like
it's getting
that's
bombed.
being
colonized
bombed
by
Yeah,
him.
exactly. As I say, good luck.
We might drone strike you.
Good, we will.
Yeah,
The fuck you might. Fuck
right.
you mean might?
What did you do? Write something on a wall? Pff. That's it. The whole city's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
So
We're
anyway,
bipartisan about that.
yeah, the Cheese Bro and Sidney Powell are stuck together forever. The Kraken and the Cheese Bro.
Cracking in the cheese, bro.
You know, cheese and crackers. Cheese and Kraken.
That's like one of them BK having your way meals.
Yeah. The Kraken and the Cheese Bro.
it's what all the tyrants are eating. That's what
All
they're
the
running
tyrants
off.
are eating.
They're just running off.
Kraken and
This.
Cheese Bro.
Cracking in cheese, bro. Yo, that comes with your Lunchable.
Interestingly enough, it also involves a place called Coffee County, spelled the way the drink is spelled.
Coffee County.
Coffee County, where Sidney Powell presided over them breaking into voting machines. which she actually did. Yes.
Coffee County's in Georgia.
In Georgia. Coffee
Willy
County,
Wonka,
Georgia.
the chocolate
Sidney Powell
factory.
and a bunch of friends went over to a place where they had a sympathetic county clerk who let them have access to their voting machines, which they then took apart and tampered with and made up what they found and said, this is evidence of voter fraud, despite the fact that that county voted 79% for Donald Trump.
They're just dumb people.
And I'm not making
They're
any
dumb
of that
people.
up.
Dumb people.
Yes.
Just dumb people.
And they're all getting money from the dumber people who are funding this legal defense. Although we did learn this week that Donald Trump's super PAC that has been funding the legal defense of all of this is basically out of money.
Then people got to buy groceries eventually.
He thefted some of it for his own other thing.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is basically tapped out. They have spent $136 million fighting their legal defense because they keep criming at an ungodly rate. And then they're asking for more. I don't know.
Their legal bills are going to make $350, $400 million.
Yeah,
easy.
There's not enough Social Security payments to steal from all these old boomers to like collect that much money.
Jesus Christ.
They're just running out.
Grandma, why don't you have any food? Well, you know.
Well, I needed to help save the country from the
You need a Jesus Christ.
rigors.
drop.
From
You
the
need
what? From
the
rigors.
you need
Yeah,
the
the
rigors. You need a
rigors.
new
Rigors.
drop like a different bell that's Jesus Christ, like just like the pop and lock cholo.
One day I'll sit down and create sounders and send them all to Brian.
You've been
I
saying
have
that
them in
for
my
Yeah,
head.
Tez
several
soundboard.
years.
Come on, man.
I made the one which I should be doing tonight and I'm not.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Tez touchdown takes.
Nope. But you didn't do
I
it.
didn't do it.
Nope. You had a whole year to do it. An entire offseason.
I knew when this day was coming.
You
and I
did.
Keep manifesting. Keep manifesting.
Look, next week I got y'all.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to interview Drew Kidd about like music and stuff and make him play Florida or not. How does that sound?
I love it.
All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to check out some football. Tez is going to finally do his assignment. And a year and a half later.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
These other games haven't started yet.
You're listening to ChipChat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Uncle Mike is in the house. Uncle Zach is in the house. Uncle Mike is in the house. Uncle Zach is in the house. Uncle Mike is in the house. Uncle Zach is in the house. In the house.
See, my time here is limited. If life's a meal, I hope that I can finish it. Can't wait for heaven like dessert, but first I gotta finish this meal on earth. Discussing thoughts with those I'm having dinner with. As we converse, time's ticking and I look at my plate at the quantity of food. Give a nigga food for thought. If it's qualities are true, I find myself getting full. Gotta eat the meals, forgiving. Food off my plate, see that's where my weakness is. I used to wanna study for more ingredients. Ain't gotta be the hungriest, trying to be the greediest. Birds even feed they chicks worms until they leave the nest. But fucking from a glutton, keep feeding me success. BSing on your goals like your plate going cold. My shit on plate warmers, haters asking for my rolls, man, cause they chicken got less meat and more bone. Y'all done realize how good my food was when I'm gone.
What does U Street mean to you?
U Street, man. U Street is U Street is a dope town. Me, after high school, you know, out of high school, when I was doing pause but mixtapes, you know, I wanted to display my talent of finding loops. So I would bring these pause but mixtapes to the guys in high school.
one time.
I'm on U Street, no pamphlet. Bar none, Cap City, where I learn the passion. Where would you be if certain folks remain absent? Beats and brown bag transfers. All the days of CD game exchange. Sharpie on the disc, on the use track 3. Smile on the face of a young MC. Only day ones, no tears is AP. And ain't no journey without the slim K-A-T. The drum dealer introduced me to the brother with the mini disc. Tracks made me feel like when you first heard Mini Ripperton. Then I heard the brother rap, realized I was scrimmaging. So I shut the fuck up and started listening. Every day since when I step in the booth, my rhyming North Star has been YU. From 1222 to Meserot Road, in the rough outside in the blue Volvo. It's the memories, keep me moving like the legs on a centipede. I'm hoping y'all starting to see the symmetry. Avatar and the Fire Lord when y'all wars Babylon, cause the peace and the balance is off.
It's a scary place to listen to your old ideas and the way you used to think and stuff. Especially when you kind of judgmental of yourself and stuff like that. But then I had to stop being that way.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That is such a feat.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here
Fantastic.
on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's poppin', y'all?
That was a track from our guest, Drew Kidd, but also featuring you, Tez.
Yeah, I know. I still do. There's only a few people, I guess, that can bring me out to stop reading books and get
No, don't stop reading books.
I'm not going to stop reading books.
We're honored, you know.
That's how you get to be a good MC. I try to tell that.
You said that last time.
My kids all the time.
Hell I would right now. My shit would be.
They go, I want to rhyme, and I'm like, you need to read.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You need to get the vocabulary to be able to rhyme. You got to have.
It helps.
It helps
Bars.
a lot.
Actual
The Fugees
bars.
have an entire song about it. You got to have vocab.
This is true.
You can't waste people's time, man.
Right. Otherwise, you end up sounding like what's his name? Forgio.
Oh God!
What was it? What was
that?
his name, Brian? The guy.
What was that person's name?
Forgio Blow or something like that. Forgiato Blow.
Not him.
Yeah.
No, it was something.
We're gonna have to play that in the break so that Drew Kidd can hear that because it's gonna make him.
That was the MTG.
That's a special. We'll play that after the show.
Is that the MTG?
I'm assuming he's like a new pioneer, like
Yes.
you know Miles.
You're right.
We're the only ones who know him. We're breaking him out right now.
Which is probably giving him too much airtime.
Yeah. All right. So Drew Kidd recently played an hour and change long live set, which is available on his Bandcamp, which I encourage everybody to go and listen to and go get it. Of all kinds of music, all kinds of amazing. It was all piano. You were playing the whole time. Yeah. But it's an incredible set list all in a row. Sometimes he's Glizzy McGuire, sometimes the leader of the Bird Gang, but he's always cool. Drew Kidd, welcome back to Chip Chat.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question is, who are you right now?
I'm Andrew Sarafika. Or Drew Kidd. Yeah, we're here.
How many of you are here?
All of them. Yeah. Everybody. You know what I mean?
In case
the universe.
In case the fans are listening, expecting several of your other personas, can you give us a short list of all of the characters that you have embodied over the years?
Okay, well, I mean, very much so recent years, but in the universe of it, man, it's just like you know, because every time I come here, it's kind of like you take the Bruce Wayne, like, hey, it's Bruce Wayne. Batman is Bruce Wayne. So
we don't want to out any of your.
It's fine, but the God, the kind of inception of that kind of start of the universe, Glizzy McGuire, the God, who hasn't returned yet. You know, like you put in the captions, we're awaiting the return. Yeah, and that will be when it is, because that was kind of the character that like set it off.
Easter.
Yes.
Right. But
it's one of those stories that you're always talking about. It's been way more than 3 days.
Yeah. Who comes with the
is not working.
Who comes with the wave of like the Glizzy Pack takeover, which is a whole like movement in itself for anybody that can resonate with that. But in the legend of it, Glizzy McGuire, the God's apprentice, is French Toast Jefferson. French Toast Jefferson is the name of my inner child. That's actually the name that I gave my inner child.
Yes.
And I kind of like had a epiphany about that last year recording that song that Tez is rhyming on, We Need You Too, which is like probably like my favorite thing I've ever made ever. Like that song specifically. It's so heavy.
I think the last time you were here, French Toast Jefferson made an appearance.
Yes. Yeah, he was here. He was here. I mean, there's a pivot, like kind of parallel movement to Glizzy McGuire, the God's like branch of the Glizzy Pack takeover, which is Dr. Juice Bar Johnson's vegan Glizzy movement.
Of course.
He's like a non-annoying vegan. He's like he doesn't have to like tell you he's vegan every time. His like kind of like trademark tagline is like, the vegan Glizzy movement is here, my brothers and sisters, if you are ready to be healthy. And he just like puts it on the table and that's it.
Yeah, I like that. You know what?
Like he's there. He just lets you know we're here, but he doesn't. He's like, yeah, we are available.
Yeah.
You know, the vegan glizzies are here available for you if you would like to partake. But you know, that's like, it's kind of like his little like kind of sly like incentive. Like, if you are ready to be healthy, you can take this vegan glizzy to the dome. You know what I mean? But resume, bang, bang, bang. Shout out to my man JoJo Rose. He started the resume movement.
Oh,
you know
my
what I mean?
God.
Oh God! Oh,
this is everything funny. I wanted this show to be. I'm so excited for this.
But right now, continue. I'm just Andrew, bro. Like, I mean, I'm repping Cloud City Bird Gang. So French Toast Jefferson is the leader of Cloud City Bird Gang.
Yeah.
Because in the legend, he's 7 years old. He's a piano student. Glizzy McGuire the God is his teacher, and Glizzy McGuire the God is felled by his adversary, the notorious evil Headmaster B. Who represents all things lies, all things just like false. Encroaching upon your peace. Yes. Whatever anybody's peace. 1,000. But somehow he finds like a maneuver to take out Glizzy McGuire to God and dying in young 7-year-old French Toast Jefferson's arms. His mentor, tells him, carry on the truth.
Right.
And full disclosure, that truth is that truth is that a glizzy can be one of three things, which we named last time.
Yeah, it can be a gun.
Right.
It can be a hot dog.
And the male genitalia.
Yes.
Bang. The truth, the trinity, that it can be any of those three things. And
it's all three at the same time.
So the comic book goes that when French Toast Jefferson arises to like full power and has grown up to now be the same age that his mentor was killed at, he takes on the final battle to take out the assailant of his beloved mentor. And he knows that because he was like one of the cherished like favorite students, that there was more to just the truth than the knowledge of what a glizzy can be, is that to take out the assailant, the evil Headmaster B, is to force a glizzy in his mouth all the way to the back till he chokes, and you have to say the magic words, ha ha ha. When he chokes on the nuts when he gets to the sack, ha ha ha.
Why do we not bring you for the 50th anniversary? That show.
Well, see, 50 years of hip hop, we gotta get creative, dog. Like,
that's coming up. That's in the
50 years of hip hop, people be like, "What do we do next, dog?" Like
the script, you would know. We're asking that.
So, like, here on ChipChat,
what can we do to unite him with the universe guys? Right, because we have friends who are producing comic books as we speak.
Hey,
and I think really there's a whole. We know writers.
This is our intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? Just stamping that right now.
Yeah. Well,
bang, bang.
But we think that I think that we ought to get you in touch with some folks who might be able to help you turn this.
Hey,
into a thing.
It would be beautiful. Like my goal, kind of like, which has stemmed through the through line, even as becoming a musician, like, is I just want to have a cartoon. I like
real.
Need that. Like, my life goal is like one of my big life goals. I need a cartoon.
An episode of Heathcliff.
And I just need like Samurai Jack is like everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially now we're in the future where they finished that show for all the kids that like were left hanging.
Right.
And they
That's
came
true.
back like right pre-pandemic and finished the show season 5. And I'm bringing that up also because like that's kind of where I'm at mentally and spiritually, emotionally, very much
Waiting
so.
for the
Like,
end of this cartoon.
no, I mean like if you've seen the end, which I will not spoil because I'm very much about the element of surprise. But they finished the story. That's all I gotta say, and it's beautiful, and it's just like you get this clarity that you weren't expecting, and so it's kind of like Francis Jefferson is fighting Headmaster B. He's dodging and weaving, and maybe able to get the glizzy in his mouth for like 3 seconds, and and then he'll like pivot, and then like because you have to say the full like mantra,
yeah.
And like almost like a Goku like Kamehameha like
That just sounded like
Right.
a dude who sneezed at the Nationals game that we were
and like
Just like
when
that,
he
it was-
explodes like the world the universe is restored to balance and harmony and the truth is equalized and people just live with that knowledge and we're
All right,
good.
We're
We're
gonna
glee
call
wild.
Gerald right after the show, and we're gonna set. We've got somebody who can draw this with you. We've got
We're
writers.
here, man.
We know the people.
The ideas are obviously
We know the
endless.
Yeah.
It's
As
just
you
a
can
light
imagine,
discussion.
I've been telling the story for like over a year.
Exactly. It's not.
I've had
it
this-
hasn't changed.
It's
It is-
That was
solidified.
question number 1,
Yeah.
by the way, on this. There's 4 more.
Let's go because we
Don't
didn't get to
worry,
everything
Brian,
last
we're
time.
on time tonight.
Brian, yeah, right. All right, so this little bit of this live performance that we played earlier in the show, what was the setting for this live performance, and how did you prepare for it? Because it's an hour long. You played.
Oh
an
yeah, I was
entire-
only supposed to play for 30, but they
Well,
brought
They
me
were
on.
on
heard
a
you
roll,
play and
but
they
like-
said,
Hey.
"Keep the fuck
Well,
going."
it was family that was putting it on. Shout
But
out to
I've never played for that long, like in one set without a break. That's kind of insane.
Fair, yeah. It was at a farm in LaDroit Park, around the way from Howard University, Common Good City Farm. They hosted my friend Les the DJ's art venture, which is called Sama Sama, which in Tagalog means all together, in conjunction with my friends Vanessa and Elaine, who run a Filipino Hawaiian food truck pop-up venture called Cam and 46, which is in tribute to the streets that they grew up on, respectively in Hawaii and California. And this event, part of the proceeds were donated, obviously, to support families in dire need in Maui that are suffering from the wildfires. And it's so horrific. And speaking of like buried narratives and things that aren't being fully like supported or reported on, you know what I mean? Like for this
Don't
to be
worry,
an outlet.
Oprah's fine.
Sheesh, it's just horrific because like you see like the clips of like people were vacationing like a week after like same people perished in that water and
Right.
it's unspeakable, you know what I mean? And so that was just like the small that I could like kind of contribute in the universe to like even for just the people there, because like my number one mission with that was just like giving some like kind of like what we talked about last time I was here, last episode I was here, was like post-pandemic like healing and resolve and just like a moment.
Music does that,
right? Because I mean the few things that do in this world, but like we gotta really hold dear to it, because I'm even speaking about like like some of this, I'm trying to play some of the songs that healed me when nothing else could, or just like I've been given so much, so this is what I give back. Like because like shout out to our one of our OGs, Quartermain DJ. Like in the pandemic, I was very
actual cousin. It's true.
oh bang, right. I don't know if I knew
Yeah,
that.
that is my
But like he said to me like in a very like low moment of my life, he was like, don't shit on your gift, like because I was away from the piano and just where I was at mentally, it took me so far away from like what I do. And obviously when you're that far away from what you do, you feel disconnected from yourself. So like it was a lot of like just like let's bring it back, and obviously it's a little tough like and it's just probably like a nature of humanity thing that like, you know, usually people aren't ready for like the big lessons or like, you know, or people are always kind of like skating over that, or because you can hear in the audio, I mean, like, you know, it's a lot of people talking, you know. Sometimes I've played background gigs and wedding cocktail gigs and all that, and sometimes it's a little rough, but like for the people that were listening, I was very grateful for that, you know what I mean?
Also had like a really wide-ranging set list.
Yeah.
But some of these songs were very clearly, I don't know if they were arranged by you ahead of time. Some of them. By the track list I know were, but some of them, even if they weren't, you weren't playing them straight ahead. You know, you were playing them with feeling. And as a musician, I relate to that there are times when the only solution is to grab your axe and play. Whatever your axe is, whether it's the piano or in my case harmonica or whatever, like that you can play your way through feelings and ideas and even go on a journey entirely by yourself and just everybody else is listening along.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I was listening to this piece, which is really several pieces all together, forgive me, but I felt like I was going along with you. I felt like
I'm grateful for that.
I was feeling as you felt as you were playing, and I could feel where you took a liberty with a measure, or where you elongated something, or where you kind of lingered on a theme or an idea within the song, and it just felt like, all right, this is a conversation between you and the audience.
Right, because like I think last time I was here, I talked about like discovering my life purpose being like to share, but like by proxy of that is like to connect. Because I was talking with
worked very, very definitely on this.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I you know, shout out to my man Anthony Alvarado, a great songwriter. We were just talking about like certain shows where like the marketing of it, or almost like the promotion and delivery of it, is about to be like impressed. Like a lot of people kind of like give into that, like, oh, I'm gonna go see a spectacle, and sometimes it's like rough, you know, like even like in sports, like people can feel like that, like, you know, if you're like this really great athlete, but being looked at as like a, you know, on some like just really like dehumanizing, yeah, but like where, you know, impressive music, like I will not discount like, you know, the practicing and the conceptualization that people do to get to that, but sometimes it's just like the way that's like received is, you know, like it's just a really like kind of squirrely like gray area. And I'm not, you know, for me, like receiving or being at a show, I'm not looking to be like impressed, you know, I'm looking to connect or like know where that person is in their life, and like, because we do this to listen, you know, we're listening for like motivation, listening for like things that are gonna help us get out of bed in the morning, get out of our head, you know. I mean, it's funny because like a lot of people kind of don't get past like the wall I kind of build with like jokes and foolishness of what people think about, like, you know, on the surface they see the word Cloud City Bird Gang and it looks ridiculous, right? Or, you know, I mean, I'm repping it now, but like the meaning of that, like the big metaphor, the bars there is that like that like movement represents like liberation from lies, because the clout is, as I've studied, you know, to this point, like very heavily, is people kind of, it's so easy. It's such a like kind of like a tired narrative that people would just like walk into this trap of like, look what's behind door number 5 or whatever. Like you're gonna see like this freak of nature, like just whatever, or like, and to have like the fortitude to like, or like awareness to know like I'm not gonna go do that because that's not healthy for me, you know. And so like, yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, shout out to y'all again, just sorting through all this like American like fabrication of delusion, right?
And it's not just American. I mean, it's the entire world.
No, like, number one, I mean, yeah, but speaking for where we at, bang,
is
like,
real from
God,
what we've exported it to to around the world in
what we're sorting through is essentially humanity reckoning with its own humanity.
Yeah.
Is that the savagery of the
rough
survival
parts of that
the
humanity.
fittest is over. And we are now confronted with abundance and how to distribute that abundance.
Because there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
No one should go hungry.
And we are, this world is so abundant in resources and capacity. And humanity has so well harnessed everything around us that we shouldn't struggle ever. Nobody should struggle ever.
Should not be that.
Right.
But every time you find out that somebody is struggling, whether it's locally, whether it's abroad, whether it's close to home, that's intentional at some point or another. You have to interrogate the intentionality of that. And we do talk about it, but we also try to get past that, because if you think about that too hard, it's easy to become completely despondent.
Yeah, you can become cynical to everything that's going on,
just
and you don't want to try to you don't want to try to change it, because you're like, well,
it's so profoundly huge. What could you possibly do?
There's small pieces that you could change. I had a question about is the pronunciation Pauhana?
Pauhana, yeah.
What can you tell the listeners about that?
So Pauhana is a Hawaiian word for it's really like something that grew out of the plantation days in Hawaii, that was a congregation of plantation workers to just share their stories and commune over food or music, which I commended them so highly for, because it's very akin to what was birthed out of Congo Square in New Orleans. And for anyone that's not familiar with Congo Square, is where enslaved Africans were allowed, keyword allowed, to practice their culture or forge their own traditions and play music, dance, just commune. And this is on sacred Native American ground, burial grounds and all that in New Orleans.
Were allowing it to happen, so it's fine.
So within that kind of fabrication of control, birthed these origins of the Mardi Gras Indians, the parades, and everything, all the call and response, all the things that lead to the birth of jazz music. And here we go.
Let's say it even simpler: American culture.
Number one,
American culture.
Bang.
When we use the big word American,
bang. But and I've been to Congo Square twice. You can touch the ground and feel the voices, man. There's only two places in the world where I felt that, is that in the Grand Canyon. And my American, literal on American soil origins, Navajo. It's that's there. You can see all the names of the tribes carved into the plaques on the ground and stuff. But it's just there's just something this. So it's beyond massive. It's beyond kind of comprehension. That that's there. I was just kind of thinking about it on the drive over here. It could feel like America's cursed land sometimes. The spirits are trying to kind of reclaim all this get this fuckery off the ground. You know what I mean? Because
California very definitely is. That is a place that does not want people living on it. It's either trying to burn them off, flood them off, mudslide them off, or shake them off. Straight up, California is yo, why y'all living on my back? That is some land.
There's there's so much land on this planet that's like that.
Golf courses in Phoenix. So,
it's fine. You're contributing.
I grew up.
I've never played a course in Phoenix. Okay.
All right. So I want to smash two questions together.
Go.
Because we are a little short on time. We do want to respect Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Do you feel like when you're playing live music, you have more pressure to perform, or do you feel it's a little more liberating?
Both, because sometimes I feel that pressure, even in that moment on that show, when I felt disconnection from the audience, even talking on a microphone and people just kind of blowing through that, you feel, and sometimes I'm upset at myself through that. Sometimes there's a clip of me on YouTube where the audience looks so bored, so I look to my brother and we start playing faster for no reason. It's are you not entertained type thing. But obviously every time you have the blessing to perform, it's liberating, because it's your chance to just be honest. You know, that's all I've said this like a lot this past couple months. Like all I ask from the universe is honesty, and that I can give that honesty back. Because like my personal life is such a testament to like how much lies and like, you know, delusion it will just kind of like almost like passive aggressively like assault you. You know, it's rough.
The whole world. Yeah.
You know, and I just want to speak to some earlier. Like I forgot what kind of spurred it, but like I think it's because I don't know. Like there's all these things that kind of like put us in a position of disconnection. That like music and art are reminders for us to like take care of the spirit. Because like okay, that's what was said earlier. Like kind of clinging to that so dearly because it's so easy to get like swayed. You know, I mean, we're emotional beings. We're you know, we're responsive, reactive beings. Like, you know, we take everything kind of through the eyes to kind of like know that sometimes that's just like that's not real. It's not like even your feelings could be a lie. You know, and just knowing who you are and like sticking to that is like is massive.
Because a lot of people let their feelings overcome what is fact.
Especially in the social media era.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to perpetuate a lie, one of the best ways to do it is to play upon people's feelings.
Play them
especially
strings.
to play the negative feelings, play the fear, play the anger.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can convince people of a complete alternate reality.
Yeah, so the responsibility for artists, like, you know, sometimes like I've worked so hard on this, man, like that I can churn it out. Like you can play me a song, it's like that's a lie. You play me a song, okay, I'm listening to you. You know, from the first breath that you utter, you know, are you in step? Are you trying to flex on me, or are you trying to like?
You can feel that.
Are you creating music that is of you, or are you creating music for the sake of selling a record?
For a show, for a spectacle. I'm not here to be a spectacle. You know what I mean? Like, clout is like just translated to lies. Just translated to lies. Like. All of it, like you can connect it to like the American government. It's like exceptionalism for what? You know, great for what? Great again, great. When was the inception of like, you know, like
that shit works?
Decimating an entire like, you know, land of people is great. Like,
when you're the one,
bro, like get out of here, bro. Like I'm good.
It works. That's why.
Yeah. It's an intoxicating.
Unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to believe that, but I mean, it works in the worst ways. But we have to be like so much more courageous to like.
To be fair, it
isn't
isn't only just the Americans that have used this idea of exceptionalism. The idea of exceptionalism itself works. The Japanese convinced themselves of their exceptionalism and thus terrorized China and the Korean Peninsula, and just, you know, that they were a superior group and whatever. There are throughout history examples
harnessing like viciousness, harnessing
of like embracing the savagery as somehow, you know, the Europeans and their ability to go around the world and dehumanize everybody they met and thus make it easy for them to kill and destroy and steal from is an unfathomable task. I can't convince myself. I cannot convince myself to do something that awful.
It's such a tough navigation, because even like, you know, as I'm hearing all this like kind of like just the worst things like from American politics or just global politics or whatever, like, and it's just like
we have buzzsaw buoys floating in the Rio Grande because those people don't deserve the safety that these good people on this side of this arbitrarily drawn line deserve.
I mean, you know.
Just run that through your mind and think about how completely insane that sounds.
Right, and sometimes I try not to like just feel like a kind of like aimless hippie or whatever. If I say, you know, I try to turn to the spiritual and like, I mean, because like that's just kind of like a great kind of like equalizer. Even when I look at it like mathematically, like zeros and ones, like there's evil over there. Okay, how do we just not? Like how, you know, like I don't, it's tough because like I just work within my like small little like island of my world, you know. I'm a musician, I'm not a politician, you know, but I have, you know, a voice. I have
you have a responsibility.
Number one, and but also like blessed that like I can commune with people that like that at least like kind of like also get it too, you know, like that's what's empowering is that when you do connect, you know that's a success, that there's people that it's not all lost, you know what I mean? There's people that also want to like.
When we're in the climate refugee camps, as Tess likes to talk about,
I'm telling you, look,
we'll have music and we'll have art to
it'll be there.
Ourselves.
I mean, look at that out of enslavement and like, you know, disrespect of sacred ground, like the most powerful artistic force like was birthed. Like it's kind of like a opposite reaction thing. Like, you know,
only something like that could be birthed out of.
Like, you know, and if you take away like kind of like the gross like capitalism thing of it, like, you know, when they talk about hip hop, you know, giving jobs to people that didn't have jobs before, like hip hop being a you know, just like a global universal, like, I don't know, like empowering thing. Like people rhyme like songs and like, you know, protest movements around the world because they find the confidence that MCs like gave them, or just like
any language you can hear it and you can be like, oh, like
you might not even speak the language, but you can hear the rhyme.
You feel the empowerment. You feel you know,
there's a brashness to it.
You can hear a rhyme in a language you don't understand. It works.
It's incredible, like, especially in other languages. It's incredible. It's like rhyming in other languages, because it's not gonna rhyme in English.
Yeah, no,
but like
there's so many times where I, as a little kid in particular, without knowing the language I was listening to, learned to phonetically sing a song, and it works. Mm-hmm. It sounds like I know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I sound like it because you can hear that the rhyme works.
Yeah.
Speaking of hip hop, I do want to ask you this because we asked Count Fifth this a couple weeks ago, that, you know, we are in the 50th year of hip hop as we're recognizing it here in this country, and you know, one of the questions that I had was that as jazz progressed from being the dangerous music and into being the music of academia, the music of NPR news breaks, you know, hip-hop is now moving into that realm.
Yeah.
We are hearing, as Tez mentioned, hip-hop tracks between public radio stories.
Yeah, it's
in the same way that when I was a kid, I heard jazz tracks in between those stories. Mm-hmm. I worry, Tez disagrees with me, but I worry that hip-hop could go the way of jazz and become locked up in this box of academic, you know, elite world. And I don't mean like the trashy trap hip-hop stuff. I mean like real boom-bap hip-hop, like real
people
stuff.
Are doing that like now. I mean, just with like the way people speak about it, or...
yeah, I worry about that it becomes inaccessible. I worry that regular people are not going to be able to
there's
buy
a disconnect
and really feel it.
There's a disconnect, you know, being in the beat maker scene too, man. Because like, I felt that disconnect. Even I came out of the pandemic.
See, right? I'm not crazy.
I'm saying I came out of the pandemic. I came out of the hospital and out, you know, into like the non-mask wearing world to see like folks like congregating over just like no rhymes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like where like, I mean, there's a lot you can speak to that of like, you know, producers or just beat makers feeling like there's too much of like a margin for somebody to just like disrespect your work or whatever. Anyway, but then even with like the stylistic choices, like, you know, there's people who it's almost like calling somebody a boomer, like, but within a genre, you know. But I mean, there's that in jazz too. There's like the, you know, the bebop like kind of purists, and then there's people who want to expand. But even with the people that want to expand, there can be
revolutionaries at a time.
Say it again.
The bebop guys were the revolutionaries.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, but like, and it's interesting. Like I just watched the Wayne Shorter documentary where they talk about that was something that they felt like they needed to fight for, and which is my approach to like all music is just inclusiveness. You know what I'm saying? Because like just the same way you can learn from anybody. It's just like when I used to hear like purism from like hip hop people, you know, whatever that means. Like sometimes I would think that person that was talking to me, I was like, do you expect to have kids like one day? You know what I mean? Like,
and expect them to understand this and
or
appreciate
yeah,
this.
or like just, you know, with the music that they're gonna come up with, and then you're gonna be like the Grandpa Simpson, like get out here with that.
My parents with the audacity of our parents' generation to complain about music when they're the rock and roll generation. You know?
Oh yeah,
oh,
and that was the like. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, it's just a cycle, you know what I mean? And like all puns intended, you know, the name of my album, The Loop Evolves. I mean, it's, you know, hip hop started with a loop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jazz is a loop because you have to keep the rhythm.
Right.
But the evolution is like how you expound upon it. The beat keeps going, but you expound upon it with a rhyme. The rhythm section keeps going, but you expound upon it with a solo.
Right.
With improvisation, you know? Like,
but then that improv becomes the chord.
Well, it's just that's where we're like
growing.
Like when if we take genre lines out of it, like you can just think about it like that's why I just like keep it so simplistic, like honesty. Like, are you just being honest? Because that's the thing of like when people talk about what good music is or what's bad music, you know, it's just like, well, you know, as soon as you're being lied to, your time is being wasted, you know, and our time is like the most sacred thing. That's all we got, bro. Like, you know,
you want to try to see if you can tell truth from fiction?
Okay, it's just like.
Are you ready to play Florida or not?
You're never ready for anything, so let's go.
Okay.
Florida or not?
There you go. There it is. The way this game works is we're going to read you a news story with the locational details removed, and you are going to have to figure out whether this happened in Florida or not.
There you go.
You got it?
It's like when you don't know the answers, just write Florida for every answer. You're going to get at least about 50%.
Yeah.
Could be. All right, you ready?
Yikes, let's go.
All right, a three-legged bear known locally as Tripod was caught on camera breaking into a home over the weekend and helping itself to snacks and adult beverages. The person who found out that she had a thirsty, uninvited guest when she got a security camera notification around 5 p.m. Sunday, she told the local news station. The home wasn't occupied when the bear arrived. However, her son, 13-year-old Joe Diglio, great name, Joe Diglio. And the family dog, like Bruno, were both inside, so it was occupied, I guess. Diglio said that he realized there was a bear in the home after he heard Bruno barking and then watched Tripod rip a makeshift door into their screened-in porch. Oh, my God, I've never been this close to a bear, Diglio can be heard saying in the video. Tripod then made himself at home, lumbered over to the family's mini fridge. Once I saw him open the fridge, I got scared that he could open the doors to the houses.
I love Joe Diglio. The meta-awareness reaction. Oh, my God, I've never been this close to a bear. It's like he's looking through a screen of his own life. Like, I'm going to say...
Quote, hold on. Quote, he took 3 White Claws, drank, and left very happy.
The bear or the owner?
No, the
This
bear.
Kind of bars. Took 3 White Claws. Like, I don't
drank
know.
and left very happy. His favorite flavor is mango and strawberry.
The universe is rhyming right now. Okay.
Yeah. In case you're wondering if the bear was in search of a little booze, not just a snack, experts with the bear management program at the Fish and Wildlife Commission said they don't think so. Quote, bears will test food and bite cans to drink what's inside. We do not believe that the bear chose the cans that were filled with alcohol. It's likely it's just a random search to test what's inside.
Sure.
The family said the Tripod is a well-liked member of the neighborhood. I was not scared because we know the bear very well. He lives here. We respect their habitat as much as we can. And, there's more stuff. What do you think?
I'm just going to say nah because I don't know enough of the, like, fauna life of Florida. But fair assumption would be that bears aren't there. because it's not like mountainous.
Yeah, and the usually I go for the image of the clue.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous enough that I want to say Florida, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm gonna say nah.
Okay, what do you think, Tez?
I'm going that this is Florida.
It is very definitely Florida.
Damn.
It is Lake Mary, Florida. There are black bears all over this country, by the way.
Fair. Okay, see, I didn't know what type of bear too, so that would have maybe.
Clear in the
okay,
story.
They ain't banned them in Florida.
Just their history.
Just cute a mystical out of jail rhyme to help the bear. Like anyway, like
there are black bears in Florida, just not black bear history in Florida.
Yeah, no black bear history.
That's right. Okay, I love the idea.
I thought the NAACP said we shouldn't, not just black folk.
Well,
not
the black bears can't read, so
that's fair. That is true.
But if Florida has their way, neither will the black people.
That seems to be the case.
I like the idea of bear claws opening white claws.
That was what I was. Fantastic.
I said the universe is rhyming right now. Somewhere is somebody in the cosmos is like.
All right, we got to hurry this up because Brian's going to kick us out of here.
Yeah, I was like,
Tez, tell us about your cousin.
This is simple too here. Obviously, that the blackest person who was charged, charged in the sedition case here, my good Afro-Cuban brother here, Mr. Terrio, obviously he would get the longest sentence.
Right.
This is how this works, y'all.
It's very obvious.
When y'all want to co-op with these
it's
white
like
folks,
you forgot you was black type.
Yeah, it is
thing.
exactly that. You want to co-opt and you want to become the leader of the Proud Boys.
Of the white supremacist group.
Yeah. Of course, when the federal government decides to shut this shit down.
Fell from the clout. You know what I mean?
When the chips are down, obviously enough of the Proud Boys turned states and were like, yeah, Enrique set us up. He was the one that told us to do it.
Of course.
I love the quote in here about "Don't you fucking leave."
Oh yeah, when he's telling that to the
he's banned from the city already. He wasn't
he
there on
there.
January 6th because he'd already burned a Black Lives Matter flag that he stole from a church.
Yeah,
as you do.
And again, he stole it from one of the most famous
from an important black
church in the country.
Yes.
Right. So obviously, I mean, look, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Speaking of
stupid white prizes,
fell from grace, fell from clout.
There it is.
Speaking of the Proud Boy slogan of "fuck around, find out," Burning Man.
Yo, yeah, Jesus, yeah.
All right, so the story of Burning Man.
This is a climate change story.
It's a climate change story. Essentially, Burning Man is turned into this very rich event. Right? And there's all kinds of fancy people who go there.
I first learned about Burning Man from a Santa Claus.
I think I learned about it from Reno.
I didn't know about it till a couple years ago. It's like that scene in The Big Lebowski where they're tossing the lady up with the big blanket near the fire and on the beach. It's like Dream World.
Hey, look,
Sodom and Gomorrah type
this
shit.
Weekend.
So Burning Man celebrates the extreme individualist, but also tells everybody they must be cooperative while they're there and look out for their fellow burners.
Like a friendly libertarian.
Yeah,
look out for your fellow burners, man.
There are burners who have and there are burners who have not. And there's a pop-up airport that shows up.
Pop-up airport. Stop the presses. This is this is some Firefest type.
Yo,
Black
it
Rock
happens.
City does not exist.
It's not a real city.
But then it pops up for Burning Man, and it has roads and rules, and then it disappears. And the ethos of Burning Man is, quote, leave no trace. Except this year, they were hit with monsoon rains. And
how many? It was millions of years, I think, that they had not seen.
Yeah, they had not seen rain
like this in millions of years.
They had
millions of years.
The Earth is coming to wrecking, bro.
It's here.
Post-pandemic, dog. Everything.
Feet deep of alkali mud that was burning people as they walked through it.
Bars.
All of their vehicles were sinking into this
Burning Man.
Absolute disaster. Interestingly, we got a lot of good reporting out of this because NPR's Anya Kamenetz was there as a
journalist.
Nope, as an attendee. She was interviewed, though, by some other journalists who obviously had her number. Neil Katyal, former Solicitor General of the United